Hi everyone, good morning. I hope you're able to hear me.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir, we can able to.
Perfect. So in the last session, we have seen how we can create a Azure storage, Azure account, and how we can create a subscription. So I hope you people are having a subscription. Okay, so right from today, if you can start doing a practice, then you will be habituated with the navigations. So navigations are important for us because since they are a tools or services, so more clicks will be there. Okay. So the reason why we are coming for the data engineers is to provide the solution for two problems. As I said, one is data storage problem, another is data processing problem. So your traditional systems are not capable enough to store the massive volume of data and to process the varieties and high volume of the data. So to provide the solution for this two, we are coming towards to the Azure data engineering. So that means we need to look over a data storage. And once that is completed, then we are going to start talking about data processing. So here 90% of the concentration is only with the data processing, and 10% is only max to max 10% we are going to concentrate on the data storage also. Even data storage also is going to be taken care by your process. Okay, so somewhere you're just going to check like is file existed, or if I wanted to remove anything that you can remove. So this kind of operations you're going to do in the storage, but even the storage handling also is going to be taken care by your tools. So that means if you take a Azure Data Factory will take care about it. And if you take a Azure Databricks will take care. But in-cell development or in-cell setup is that, right? That time you're going to deal with the data storage also. So because of that reason, I'm just taking this two. And how exactly Microsoft is providing the solution for the storage? What services are there or what platforms are there to store the data? So that I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so Azure data storage platform, if you see this diagram, you can understand how exactly they're providing the storage. Azure is providing in the form of two flavors to store the data. They're giving two flavors. It's up to you whether you go with the one or two or both, you can go. Okay, so there is a platform, as I said, PaaS platform. PaaS means platform as a service. They will give a platform and we don't need to set up, we're just going to set up the platform. We don't have any control on the storage size. We don't have any control on the operating system, and we don't have any control on the networking side. Everything will be taken care by internally your Azure itself. You're just going to have a platform. In the same way, they're also going to give another flavor, that is IaaS platform, to store the data. Okay, so 100% is we never fall under this. That is 100%. We are not going to be part of it. You may use this as a source system, but you're not going to load. You're not going to deal this directly. Okay, so if your source system is Oracle for your data processing, if your source system is Oracle, I don't care whether this Oracle is there in a IaaS platform or this Oracle is there in a on-prem, or is this Oracle available in somewhere else. I care about what is the server name, what is the database name, what is the login details. So all these details only I require. I don't care about where it is located when it comes to the data engineering point of view. But just understanding for how exactly this Microsoft is providing, I'm just giving a brief idea about it. So we can have a IaaS platform also to store their business data. So like they can have their Oracle system or DB2 or Netezza or any kind of database or any kind of RDBMS tools they can set up because they have a full control on the operating system. So when it comes to the Azure Data Engineer, nowhere we are going to fall under this particular area. We never come to this place. So our place is PaaS, Platform as a Service. Our place is Platform as a Service. We are going to use it. Okay, so in the Platform as a Service, they have given 4 different types of varieties. Okay, so in 4 different types of varieties also, what we are going to use very frequently is important. Okay, so there is a chances to ask in the interview, what is the difference between blob account and ADLS Gen 2 account? Okay, so this PaaS is having storage accounts. Storage accounts is a service. Storage accounts is a service. This service is going to provide 2 different types of accounts you can create it. By using the storage accounts, these are all the services. This is a service. Azure SQL Server is a service. Cosmos DB is a service. Azure Data Warehouse is a service. All these are the services. All these services are treated as a platform as a services because Microsoft provides a platform and you can use that platform to store the data. So we are going to concentrate more and more because very frequently we are going to use this. In my entire experience, I came across with the storage accounts and SQL Server. So why SQL Server we are going to use? I'll talk about it. Okay, so I did not come across this Cosmos DB, Azure Data Warehouse, all this stuff. Okay, so to replace all these things again, all this particular platform to replace it, Microsoft Fabric is coming with the one lake. Okay, so it's a different story because market is not yet started much more. Maybe later 2 years you can see drastic changes in the data engineering side. But till then, we don't have any problem. But if we can work with these systems, then you can work with the Microsoft Fabric also. There will be no much differences. And the storage accounts is the storage account service or storage. This service is going to provide 2 different types of accounts. This is very, very important. So storage accounts is a service which provides 2 different types of accounts. One is blob account, another is ADLS Gen 2 account. So how do you know that is a blob account and how do you know that is a ADLS Gen 2 account? I'm going to differentiate it. And blob account, we have seen many times in the interview also. What is the purpose of blob account? Or what is the purpose of ADLS Gen 2 account? So this blob account can store any kind of data and ADLS Gen 2 also can store any kind of data. That is the similarity. And the difference when it comes to here, blob account is for general purpose storage. A general purpose storage means if I wanted to store the backup files, for some reason I wanted to backup it. I don't process it. I don't want to process it. But for some reason I wanted to keep that backup data. So if that is the case, then you can use this blob account. The cost will be less. Okay, and when you create a virtual machines, basically I told you this is going to Microsoft provides IaaS platform also. When you create a virtual machines, the supporting files of this, where exactly it is going to be created is in the blob account only. Whatever the operations that you are going to do here, those things are going to store into this place. Okay, but when it comes to this ADLS Gen 2, which is specifically designed for big data processing, the hierarchy of this is no hierarchy, no folder hierarchy here. Everything will be flattened. Everything will be on the same line. So the performance will be less if you wanted to process the data which is there in the blob account. But if you have a data in the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, then you can do data processing very faster because which is specifically designed for big data processing. Which is specifically designed for big data processing. So let's go into the details. Before going into the details of this ADLS Gen 2, I wanted to create a storage account. If I wanted to create a storage account, my target is to create a storage account. So why I need to create a storage account is to store the data. When I'm trying to create a storage account, it will ask, what is the resource group? What is the resource group? Because without resource group, you cannot take the service. Without subscription, you cannot take the service. So subscription is required. A resource group is required. And from which region you are going to take the a resource? A resource means a service. Okay, so from which region you are going to take the resource that you have to specify. And resource details or service details we need to provide. Now I'm going to start doing the practical things. You can just see how I'm going to do it. So in order to do this, we have to go to the portal, Microsoft portal. Portal.azure.com. Portal.azure.com we need to use to go into the portal. So then only you can take the service. Okay, so this kind of activities, whatever I'm doing right now, this is purely 100% is administrators activities. But in order to do our practice from our side, we have to create our own services from our side. So here I use the frequently used services. So because of that reason, my look and feel is something little different, you can see. But when it comes to your case, maybe it will be completely empty. I'm going to start doing it from here. This is a global search for your services. So what service I wanted to take? I wanted to search storage accounts. This is the first service that you're going to touch. Storage accounts. You can see. So service name is storage account. Just select it. There are many storage accounts are there. No worries. My requirement is I wanted to create a new storage account. Plus create. So what it is saying here, you can see. Azure storage account. We're creating a Azure storage account. What is it is? It is Microsoft managed service. So all PaaS services are Microsoft managed service or managed services. Microsoft managed services or managed service providing cloud storage. The storage
Excuse
account
me,
is,
sir.
yeah.
Muni here. Yesterday I created a subscription, but unfortunately I don't see it in the list.
Okay, so did you log in with the same account?
Yeah, same.
You're not able to see subscription.
Yeah, correct.
I'll come to that.
Yeah,
I'll see that.
thank you.
So Azure Storage is a Microsoft managed service providing cloud storage. This is going to provide the cloud storage on because we're talking about cloud. And that is highly available. This storage account, whatever the storage account that you created, that is going to be highly available, secure, durable, scalable, and redundant. All these features are going to be taken care by Microsoft itself. We don't need to worry about all this stuff, which is purely related to administrators. Okay, so that is more enough for us. Now here, my intention is how we can use the storage account is our responsibility. How we can load the data into the storage account is our responsibility. But creation of the storage account is going to be someone else's responsibility. So now I'm going to create it. To create this one, I told you a resource group is required. I'm going to create a resource group. From here itself, I'm going to create a resource group. Hit on create new. Then what it is saying? A resource group is a container that holds related resources for an Azure solution. So I'm just going to keep some name here. Bhaskar hyphen Azure or dev I'm taking. Some resource group name I'm just giving it. Let's hit OK. So this resource group is a container. That is what I'm saying. A resource group is a container where we can keep related services of your solution. If I'm going to provide a solution for big data, then big data related services I'm going to take. Or if I'm going to do the DevOps kind of activities, you can give a DevOps related storage or whatever it is. When I'm going for big data, basically we're going to have three different resource groups we're going to have. One is for dev, other is for QA, and other is for prod. So like this, we may have a different kind of resource group, depends on the environment. So the naming standards, what name they wanted to give, that will be taken care by administrators. But generally, I'm just giving, you can keep all the big data related services into one resource group, or you can keep the all virtual machines into one resource group, or all SQL DBs into another resource group, something like that, they can create it. So they follow some rules and regulations to keep the resources. That is not our responsibility. Okay, so how we can create a resource group is by using resource group service, you can create it directly, or while taking the service also, you can create a resource group. And this part I have taken it, this one. So while taking the storage account, I wanted to create a resource group. That is what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to create a storage account. It is asking a resource group. I just created a resource group from my side. Here they have given a feasibility to create a resource group while taking the service. So creation of the resource group is one-time job. It's going to be one-time job. You're not going to do multiple times. It's only one-time activity. And you can see here, wherever there is a star that indicates it is required. Subscription is required. Without subscription, you cannot consume the service because your bill is going to be decided by your subscription. So no one will ask all this stuff. It is just for your understanding. And then service details I need to provide. My service is Bhaskar ADLS. I'm just taking some name here. Bhaskar ADLS Gen 2. Okay, it is already there. Let me say ADLS June I'm taking. Some name I'm just taking here, any name that you can take. So storage account name is going to be uniquely should be identified and all the characters in a lowercase characters. And then what it is asking, a reason is asking. What is the reason? From which reason you are taking this storage? From which reason you are going to take the storage that you have to specify. Now I'm just going to take this default reason, that is Central India. The nearest location for me is the Central India. I'm just taking it. And you can also take the nearest location from your side. When you have a free trial, maybe some locations may not allow to take the storages. Just try the different regions. Definitely the local, I mean to say the local region will be taken to take the services. So if it is not allowing, you just change the region and try for it. So for me, this is the nearest location. I'm just going to take this region. And primary service. What is the primary service for this storage account? What is the purpose of this? I told you the storage accounts is going to provide two different flavors. One is blob account and other is ADLS Gen 2 account. So that is going to be decided here. The primary service, you can see the primary service here I'm having Azure Blob Storage or Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. I don't need the Azure files. I don't need other activities. As a data engineers, we are going to use this only. Because storage is not only for data engineers, it's for everyone. And this particular part is going to be specific to Azure data engineers, especially Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. But we are going to choose the first option here. That is the primary service. And just leave this default standard is the recommended. And redundancy also, for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. We are going to have a separate discussion on this redundancy. And let's go to the review plus create. I'm just going to say directly review plus create. So all these options, whatever you selected, that is going to come to here, and just hit on create. It takes 1 or 2 minutes. Now you can see here the deployment is completed. That means service is going to be available now. Let's hit on go to resource to go into the resource, into the service. Your service is storage account. I wanted to go inside that. Then hit on go to resource. Now here I have a storage account details. The resource group, what resource group it is, from which location I have taken, and primary, secondary reason, what is the subscription, subscription ID, and all these details are there. And the standard that we have taken, replication. And when it comes to here, so basically this is not a ADLS account. It is basically, I've just given the naming like this. How can you say this is a blob account? Or how can you say that is a ADLS? Is based on this properties we can say. If the property, if we observe here, hierarchical namespace. In the blob service, if you see this hierarchical namespace, this is disabled here. If the hierarchical namespace is disabled, that is a blob account. If the hierarchical namespace is disabled, then we can say it is a blob account. So it is going to be flattened. It is not going to support for big data processing. It supports to store the massive volume of data, but the processing is also important. To speed up the process, we need to have a hierarchical structure so that it will go into the specific place. If you know a SQL server or any database, we have indexes. If we have an index, then it will go to the specific place immediately. And if it is not available, it will stop it. Okay, so it will not go for complete full scan of the table. In the same way here also. So if it is enabled, if the hierarchical namespace is enabled, then we can say Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2, which is specifically designed for big data processing. Your ADLS Gen2 is specifically designed for big data processing. The same options are available here also. Blobs, tables, file shares, keys. But only thing is, this is going to be flattened. But here it is going to be hierarchy will be there. Like if we take an example, if I wanted to go for June 2025, I'm just going to say something like year equals to 2025. Once I go into the year equals to 2025, then I'll check month, that is June. Okay, so it is easy if I go and check it. If all the years in the same line, then you have to start searching from the beginning. Okay, so that is the dangerous. So for big data processing, we always going to use Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2 only. 100% we are going to use this alone. In my experience, I came across only data lake storage Gen2. So there is a data lake and there is a delta lake. Your data lake is nothing but your ADLS Gen2. Your delta lake is going to be delta tables on data lake. Then we can say it is a delta lake. So what is this delta tables? We'll come across that. We are going to see at the time of Databricks. So here we are not going to see. So delta lake is nothing but your data lake only, but on top of data lake, we are going to create a delta tables. So why we are going to create a delta tables, why they're calling that as a delta lake, we'll see when time comes. Okay, so this is a data lake and this is also is a data lake only. Wherever you're going to store the data here, that we can say data lake. You can store all varieties of the data. You can store structured data, you can store semi-structured, you can store unstructured data. In the same way here also, you can store all varieties of the data. So that is how it is going to be there. Now let's come back to here. I'm there in the portal. Now I wanted to create a Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2 because this is a blob account. This is a blob account. I don't want to go into the blob account because let's concentrate on the ADLS Gen2 only as per the market. And if you know that even we don't come to this particular place to access the storage, we are going to do it by Data Factory. We are going to access by Databricks, not directly from here. So I'm going to create one more storage account, search for the same storage accounts. So this time I'm going to create a Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2 plus create. So this is my storage resource group. Just now we created. I don't want to create one more resource group. And then storage account details I'm going to provide here. Bhaskar ADLS, June, Gen2. I'm taking some naming standard here. It's available. And same reason I'm taking. Primary services again same. Then what is going to differentiate? So in the next step, in the next, that means in the advanced. When I hit on the next, it will go to the advanced. In the advanced, there is a hierarchical namespace. Hierarchical namespace. So this hierarchical namespace is going to accelerate your big data analytics workloads. It is going to accelerate. So because of that reason, they have specifically gave this point. Your ADLS Gen2 is designed for big data processing. It's not just normal storage. It's for processing also. You just select this. Okay, so ADLS Gen2 accelerates big data analytics workloads. So when it is going to be treated as a big data or when it is going to be treated as a ADLS Gen2 is when you check this checkbox and then review plus create. Only one checkbox away to differentiate your blob account and ADLS Gen2 account and hit on create. Now let's go to resource. Now you can see here, it is enabled. You cannot go back to your blob account from ADLS. You cannot change from ADLS to blob. I'm just going back to my home. If I wanted to access my resources, there are many storage accounts, many services are there. I always go with the resource group. You can navigate through the resource group. Let's go into the resource group. We created a resource group just now, Bhaskar-June-dev. Just hit on it. You can go into the resource group. Inside the resource group, you can have a collection of services. That is what this diagram is saying here. Inside the resource group, your resource group name I have given. Inside that, you can have a multiple resources. You can see. So these two are the storage accounts. So we are having, if I go and create a data factory, that will be created inside this resource group. And I'm just going to open this, a new tab. And this is also in the new tab. So this is the blob account. And this is the ADLS Gen2 account, we can say, because your hierarchical namespace is enabled. Here it is disabled. If you want to change this from, if you wanted to change from blob to ADLS Gen2, that is possible. If you hit on this disable, it is going to make you to enable. Review and change. Okay, so you can agree the changes and start validation, and then you can change your blob account to ADLS Gen2. But the same thing, you cannot do it from the ADLS Gen2 to blob. From blob to ADLS is possible to convert. From ADLS Gen2 to blob is not going to be possible to convert. So these are all we can give a differences if they ask in the interview. Only 1 or 2 times students face this question, the differences between blob and ADLS Gen2. Okay, so now let's talk about specific to storage accounts. What we are going to store in the storage accounts. We can store varieties of the things. Whatever I have taken here, the same thing, I just brought this particular part into separate. This part alone, I have taken separate. You can see it. So this blob account is for general purpose and ADLS Gen2 is for big data processing purpose. So we are going to concentrate on only this particular area. In the ADLS Gen2 also, 100% we are going to use only the blobs. We are going to use only the files. Okay, so I have given some points here. By using this service, we can create 2 types of accounts. One is blob account, which is for general purpose, and ADLS Gen2, which is specifically designed to accelerate your big data processing. And in both, we can store these things: blobs, tables, file sets, keys. So these 4 items are there in both of them, in both of the accounts, but we are going to concentrate on this ADLS Gen2. Now, let's come to here. Data storage. In the ADLS Gen2, I'm there. And if you expand this data storage, you can see here. Containers are there, file share, quiz, and tables. The same thing, you can also do it. You can also see here also. Data storage. You can see containers, file shares, quiz, and tables. Just have a look on this image. How this image is there here in the blob. This is a blob image. And in the ADLS Gen2 image is something looks like a database, because it is going to have a hierarchical structure. And we are going to use only ADLS Gen2. We are going to use only ADLS Gen2. Now I'm there in the ADLS Gen2. What is this containers? Containers is nothing but a like blobs we are going to store here. Blobs only we are going to store. Containers here, and here also is containers. So what I'm trying to say here is this is nothing but a container. The files we can store. So if you want to store a files, that we can also call them as a blobs into ADLS Gen 2, then we need to create a container. Without creating a container, you cannot store the files. We cannot store the files. Now you can see here, I'm going to hit on add container. So for your practice, you have to set up all these things for your data factory. For all this setup, you have to do it even for Databricks also. Hit on add container. In the container, it is asking the name of the container. Now I'm just giving a generic naming standard, and how exactly the real time is going to have the naming standard, I'm going to give it at the time of project. But for now, we are going to use the generic naming standards. That is, data files is your container. It's a root container, root directory. Your data files is a root directory. Okay, data files is a root directory. It's a root directory in the storage account. Inside root directory, we can have our own directories as per the requirement. Apart from this root directory, you can also have a directories inside a directory. Like in C drive or D drive, you can have a folder 1, folder 2. Inside folder 2, you can have a multiple folders. In the same way, you can do it here. Now you can see there is a add directory. Previously, it was asked you to add a container. So container is like a drive in your operating system. So inside that, I'm going to create a directory. I wanted to say my directory name is input directory. Let's save it. I wanted to create one more directory. Add directory, output directory. How can we move data from input to output? We are going to see with the data factory. How data is moving from input directory to output directory, or from source to target. How exactly the data is going to move, we are going to see with the help of Azure Data Factory and with help of Azure Databricks. Okay, so two directories are created. Now, I'm just wanted to go inside this input directory. If I wanted to upload the file, into the storage account, I have a data factory. I wanted to process the data. So if I wanted to process the data, you need to have some data in the source. Okay, so in real time, your business will keep the data here. Your business applications are some upstream systems and coming and keeping the data here. We don't have any problem. If you wanted to practice with the data factory, you have to set up the input from our side for practicing. That means you're going to upload some sample data to here. You're going to upload some sample data. So then only you can do the practice. So here I'm doing a manual upload, but basically it has to be done by process. So how we can do it by process at the time of project, we'll see. So here my intention is how we can use the storage is much more. Here my intention is to explain about how we can use this storage. How we can bring the data into the storage, I don't care about it now. I wanted to do it manually only. So how this process is going to do it at the time of project, we'll see. So what is the upstream system for this, we'll see. Now let's hit on upload. It is asking to upload the file. Just drag and drop, or you can browse it. So I'm just going to upload a customer.csv file. I'm going to upload a customer.csv file. Just upload. When I'm trying to upload, it is having various options here. in the advanced, you can see. So what happens when you upload a file into the storage? So that I wanted to talk about it. So here I have a diagram here. This diagram is going to make you to understand what happens when you upload the file. You're trying to upload a file. The file is customer.csv. Just imagine my size of the file is 14 MB. My size of the file is 14 MB. So I wanted to upload this file into the ADLS Gen 2. So ADLS Gen 2 is going to be there on the cluster. It's not a single machine. My laptop is a single machine, but your ADLS Gen 2 is a cluster. ADLS Gen 2 is running on the cluster. So cluster means collection of nodes. A node is nothing but a system. Like this is computer 1, computer 2, and computer 3, something like that. Okay, so 3 nodes. And I'm taking here master node, total 4 node cluster it is. Okay, so this is a traditional Hadoop system, follows the same thing, same approach. Okay, so when you upload the file before Hadoop, everything will sit into the same place in one system. Okay, so in one system, the file is going to sit in the traditional approach. But nowadays, later Hadoop, or when the Hadoop was introduced, they came up with a different storage mechanism. The distributed storage was introduced with the HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. The name itself is having the same Hadoop Distributed File System, HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. Your data is not going to sit in one place. Your data is going to sit into multiple places. How exactly it is going to split? There should be some criteria, or there should be some approach to distribute the data. So what happens in general is, whenever you're going to upload the data into HDFS or into Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 or even S3 bucket, the data is going to be divided into multiple blocks. The data is going to be divided into multiple blocks. So even here, when I'm trying to upload the file, the blob type I'm having blob. The file is going to be divided into multiple blocks. The file is going to be divided into multiple blocks. Each block size is going to be 4 MB. 4 MB here, 4 MB here, and 4 MB here. Total now 12 MB. And here remaining 2 MB is going to be there in this block. Now total size of this file is 14 MB. Okay, so this block will sit into one machine. Let's say node 2. And this will go for node 4. And this will go for node 2. And this will go for node 3. Something like this. So data is not in the same place. The data was distributed. Okay, so you don't care about how the data is getting distributed or how the system can understand this data. We don't care about it. But the data is going to be divided into multiple blocks. Depends on the size of the block. This is going to be divided. Since my block size is 4 MB, I'm just taking 4 MB each block. And since my total file size is 14 MB, so total 4 blocks are there here. And 4 blocks are going to distribute across the cluster. So if you have 1,000 blocks and 100 nodes, 100 nodes only is going to be distributed. For 100 nodes only, the blocks will be distributed. But same block of the data is not going to be there in the same system. I mean to say, One time only it is going to be available. Now, if I give this data to person 1 to process the data, because this is a node 2, and node 2 also, this also will go to the same person. Because these two blocks are there in the same node, this data is going to be processed by one person, and this data is going to be processed by another person, and this data is going to be processed by another person. That means what? 3 persons are doing your data processing. Before this distributed approach, there was only one person to store and to process. But when it comes to here, since the data was distributed, I can give this node 1 data to one person, node 2 data to another person, node 3 data to other person. So 3 persons are working together parallelly. So that is what the parallel processing. So when this parallel processing can be achieved is when the data was distributed. If the data is not distributed, then there will be no parallelism. I hope everyone is getting. Any question, guys, here? Anyone, you can unmute if you have a question.
Sir, in block size, we have the drop down, right?
Yes.
Can you show me that?
We can increase or we can decrease the block size.
Okay, based on our file size.
Yes, not based on our file size. Depends on the administrator that is going to be decided at the time of creation of the account.
Okay, in real time, we don't have this option, or how it is?
We don't control it from our side.
Okay.
This is not in our control.
Okay, that is, they will set up.
Yes, they will set up it.
Okay.
Mostly the default size is 4 MB and 100 MB is there, and list is 64 kilobytes. Okay, so let it be the 4 MB. So that is what I'm just trying to say here. The 14 MB file is divided into 4 blocks. Block 1 is 4 MB, block 2 is 4 MB, block 3 is 4 MB, and block 4 is 2 MB. And block 1 is stored in the node 1, block 2 is stored in the node 2, block 3 is stored in the node 3, and block 4 is stored in the node 2. Any node can be taken. I just taken an example with node 2. I just kept this block 4 also. Okay.
Sir, it's now set up default.
That is what
Storage.
default is the 4 MB.
4 MB.
Yes.
Is it default?
It's a default.
Okay.
It is default by Microsoft.
Okay.
Okay, automatically it will be taken as a 4 MB.
We can't modify it
If you want to modify while uploading, you have to modify.
while uploading. Okay.
Yes. While uploading, you can modify that. But we don't do it generally. Okay, so if they wanted to set up this for account level, they're going to set up this. Okay, so then the default block size will be changed. So Microsoft recommended a block size is 4 MB. Okay. Now all these details where we are going to have, how your system can understand block 1 is there and block 2 is there, or block 3 here and there, how it is going to be identified is generally the Hadoop approach was having a master node. This master node is going to have a complete metadata details. Basically, metadata node or something is there, not exactly sure, but metadata details are going to be there somewhere in the cluster. Okay, so when you send the request to read the data from there, it will go to the metadata location and it will identify where exactly it is available. So it will give the block 1 is there, so and so node, block 2 is there, and so node. Then it will go to that particular nodes to read the data. Because there will be too many blocks, how it is going to be identified is based on the metadata. All these things will be handled by its own. We don't need to do anything from our side. The storage accounts itself is going to take care about it. Okay, so when you upload the data into the ADLS Gen 2, The data will be divided into multiple blocks, and blocks will be distributed across the cluster. And everything will be taken care by your Azure storage account itself. We don't need to do from our side anything. Okay. So I'm just going to say hit on upload. Now here you can see blob type is blob. The size is 316 bytes. Okay, so I've just taken, for explanation purpose, I've taken the size of the file is 14 MB. Okay, so I'm stopping here. If you have any question, you can ask me. We are going to wind up this storage account on tomorrow. We are going to talk about redundancy and access tiers. These two we are going to talk, and once that is completed, then we are going to start talking about Azure SQL Server. That is the another platform, this one. So this is also is very important for data engineers. These two are mandatorily required. Okay.
So regarding Storage Explorer of Azure, I'm sharing my screen, sir.
Okay.
Will you please?
You can share your screen. Is it not allowing to share?
No.
Still no. I think you're able to share.
Okay.
Yeah. Show me what is your.
This one, sir.
Okay. It is installed only.
Is it completed?
It's completed. How we can access the storage by using Storage Explorer, and tomorrow I'm going to walk you through this.
Okay, sir.
Installation is done.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Any question? Okay then. So
Bhaskar sir, regarding the subscription.
Okay, so do you want to create a subscription?
Yesterday I tried and it
you
charged
told me,
2 rupees
right?
also.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm able to see. Can you refresh this? Okay, so did you create a free trial subscription here with the same account?
Yeah. This is the account and the same.
Did you provide the account details and all?
Yes, everything is done. I got a message also from the bank. Not detected 2 rupees something. Yeah.
But free trial is not showing here. There is a lock symbol. What is that lock symbol? In your account, there is a lock. No, in the bottom, little down. No. There only your image is the right of your account.
Okay.
Yeah, what is that lock symbol? Is that the same for me also? Let me check. Yeah, that is correct only. Can you open your Gmail? You will get some. You activated Outlook email. Can you open it? Outlook email, I think so. It's the Outlook email. Outlook.live.com.
I got these 2 messages. Nothing related to subscription here.
Nothing related to subscription. Right? Okay, can you go there and try again adding? Add
subscription.
Yeah. Try Azure Free. These details you provided, right?
Yeah. These details are
Accept that
provided.
again.
See, I have given card yesterday.
You can just sign up. Next. Start. There is a start. Okay, so let's go home now. Home. Yeah. Now subscription.
Yeah.
Now you can see.
Yeah, that is it.
Oh, 1 minute. Is that a free trial or what subscription it is?
Yeah, I did free.
Okay. I think so. It is a free trial. We added only free trial. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
After some time, sir.
Which one?
No, the free trial information it reflects after some time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That is fine then. Anyhow, we added. I'm sure we took the free trial only. Okay. So you can start doing it, and you have to make the payments. So I'll save the payment details.
Yeah.
So
And I'm stop sharing. Thank you, sir.
yeah, no worries. So I'm just keeping in the chat box now. I hope everyone can see that, right? In the chat.
Yeah, we can see, sir. Phone pay, GPay, and bank account details also.
Yeah. Okay, so once you have done that, then I'll create a WhatsApp group. So we can have a group for each interaction.
But this
Okay.
batch you create a WhatsApp group, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay.
you mentioned you are covering 4 batches, right? Is there any other timings also you take classes?
I have at 7 o'clock in the morning. We are
Yes.
talking about Python.
Okay.
Databricks is going on. In one batch in the evening is going to wind up in a couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
once that is done, you will take evening class also if someone
no,
asks.
actually, I'm planning to stop in the evening because I'm getting blocked in the office.
Okay.
So I'm not able to reach on time. So it will go for bad sign if I'm canceling the sessions. So for next 3 months, I'm not going to take in the evening.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, but definitely I'm going to take in the evening, but now I'm going to stop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then thank you for joining. We'll see you on tomorrow.